haven't quite seen that one, where the whistle has been blown and play has been hesitated. Now it gets going for the second half. Pick up any changes in structure for the Jets. Ball played in from Burns, attempting to find Virgili.
Well, I think they've just got to play their structure a lot better. And they sat too deep that, call it the second half of the first half, and Del Piero down, a bit of a collision with Zadkovic there, just caught him. Possibly should be okay. But I think Newcastle can play a higher line against Sydney. The Sydney players, we said, virtually played without a 9 right up top. That's just accidental from Zadkovic. Because one thing, Del Piero's not going to hurt you with pace. Chianese's quick, but not overly. And Richard Garcia on the left-hand side shouldn't be too much of a worry for the back four. So they need to play, I think they can play a higher line. They sat too deep and allowed too much space in the middle of the park.
Poor touch from Virgili. Scott Neville's pass infield was poor. Virgili clearly offside. He was the most likely attacking player to break through in the first half. Trying to link up with Taggart, making those darting runs to the middle.
Sebral did well there, just stepped up. Let Virgili run offside.
Caravella booked 3 times, including a yellow card in the first half. Chapman. Warren took it off the chest and showed plenty of it to Scott Neville, who wins the throw for Newcastle. Caravella. Burns felt he was caught, but the referee was in a great position to see any contact. Bus's touch was heavy, and Caravella wins it back for Newcastle. Taggart tries to play the ball in behind. Got there, but a little bit too much weight for Craig Goodwin.
That was the right idea. Just the execution from Taggart. Goodwin was in behind. This is a neat little turn from Nathan Burns. Bass does well and gets very close. He's not allowed to get that second touch, and they've done that well, Sydney. They've been compact.
Cushions the pass in the path of Taggart. Again, it's just overcooked. They're a little bit anxious at the moment when they find a bit of space, Newcastle.
They're just always hurried in the middle of the park. That time was Abbas and Nicky Carl again, not giving any room, and then he has to force the pass.
Hugh Yellians won the championship in the Eredivisie with Brett Holman under Louis van Gaal a few seasons back with AZ Alkmaar. It's far from their worst in the first half. I think plenty of teammates with Taggart all passes forward. Chapman lofts it up. Taggart has to hold it up. Burns. Neville in support, but clips it over the top, and Virgili made a darting run in behind, and his pace almost got him there.
It was a good idea. Little chip from Nathan Burns, good vision, and little dart inside from Virgili, very close to getting on the end of that.
Have you seen Sydney FC's central defensive partnership?
Well, really, apart from the first 10 or 15 minutes, they've had little to do. They've dealt with everything very well. Their midfielders have helped them out. As I said, they've stayed nice and compact, but Newcastle have played into their hands somewhat. Because if you're going to go direct, Adam Taggart is Certainly not going to win much in the air off those two.
Very good, isolated. Pejbovic gallops forward but can't get the touch around Gallians, who did well. Very strong and experienced. Vigili. Burns comes deep. Not a lot of movement ahead of Caravella. Saw Galloway get forward early in the match, but as the half grew on, a little bit more withdrawn.
Yeah, Bowick imposed himself on him in the latter parts of the first half.
Burns surely wins the free kick this time on Nicky Carl.
And you see again the three midfielders very close to each other. Abbas, Matt Thompson and Nicky Carl. Giving Nathan Burns any room. He's trying to float in between the lines, but there's not much space there because of those midfielders.
Craig Goodwin was certainly the thorn in Sydney FC's side last season, but he's been a peripheral figure for the Jets. 51 minutes of play, takes the free kick. Delivers far too directly. The Warrior veteran Janjetovic.
He got too much air on that, needed to hit it flatter. Possibly that sort of position as well. Trying to find the sort of quality ball from that position, very difficult.
Good work by Chianese. Again, just a heavy touch undoing him. So often he gets into dangerous positions.
Yeah, he got away, did he? He used his body well against Galloway, and then just a little bit heavy on his second touch, allowed Gallians to make the challenge.
And Thompson, who had his shot to cannon off the crossbar into the back of Mark Birighitti in the first half, so Sydney FC pretty unlucky not to go 1-0 up at that point. They got an ounce of luck with Del Piero goal. Nothing lucky about the shot, but Caravella did get tangled up with his teammate, the leader.
It really was poor defending. Caravella come in and just knocked Connor Chapman over, really. He looked to be in control of the situation, but take nothing away from Del Piero after that. Wiggled his way free with a brilliant finish.
Burns, poor delivery. Comfortable defending by Seb Ryle. Chianese links up with his right back. So too much cover there for Newcastle. No real change in the structure of the Jets to start the second half. He's kept faith with the lineup. Caravella. That's neat. Taggart to Zankovic. Galloway. Slows down now with the Jets captain, Ruben Zankovic, former Sydney FC player. Scored a cracking free kick against Sydney FC a couple of seasons back now at the stadium from memory. Caravella.
That's good structure from Sydney. Nice and compact, very comfortable, everything in front of them. Forced into a longer ball.
Taggart does look like an isolated figure at the point of their attack. Might fall for him now, but Ryle anticipated well. Nicky Carl trapped it beautifully. The former Jet star opens up for Del Piero, who pokes it forward. They're all joining in. Pejbovic unleashes, but can't find the target. Wasn't that far away though.
Decent strike. Just hit across the ball a little bit too much. Goes for power, had to from that sort of difference, and hit it very straight. Was always going wide, but good play from Bowick. Great anticipation on Goodwin. He was flat-footed.
Bowick, 7 goals in a career that spanned 125 games in the A-League. Of course, he started for him at Parramatta Power, Sydney Olympic before that, the old NSL. He's been around a while. Warren. Tries to find some space, but closed down quickly by Connor Chapman. Abbas had a productive first half. Twice Newcastle played Sydney in the Hunter last season. Rado Vidicic providing tactical nous alongside Frank Farina. Of course, goalkeeping coach Joko Kalets. Yellians. He does favour the long pass, but it is telegraphed somewhat. Caravella. And costly turnovers here for Newcastle. They need to keep it a lot better than this.
Well, they're going very central, and that's exactly where Sydney is strong. They need to try and spread the play, try and get Goodwin and Virgili involved, and if not directly, getting them into the pockets to release the fullbacks. That's the way their structure's set up.
Sydney sitting fairly deep, protecting this 1-0 lead. We saw the possession stats midway through the first half. Robbie about a 70-30 split, but it's around 60-40 at the moment as we reflect on Del Piero's goal in the 37th minute.
Well, you see the mistake there from Caravella, and then he gets a second bite at it, but Del Piero just too clever, and with a brilliant finish from an impossible angle.
Involved. Del Piero was expecting the run from Thompson. Neville has Abbas bearing down, but so Ali Abbas pretty physical with Emil Heskey in this fixture last season, and switching over from the Jets to Sydney FC. Had a pretty useful last campaign. Garcia. Newcastle consistently being closed down under pressure with every possession.
Yep, when they're on the ball, they're always hurried because Sydney are pressuring well. And when you look at the possessions, just proof that always doesn't tell the whole story, does it? Most of the Jets' possession has been in their own half or the middle third, where Sydney have been very happy just to allow them to have the ball. Most of that possession's been in front of Sydney.
You look at the middle of the park for Sydney, Robbie, with Thompson, Nicky Carl and Ali Abbas. It's not blessed with heaps and loads of pace, but they have worked extremely hard to close the space down on Newcastle.
But they've been nice and compact.
And here's Del Piero emerging. Very good situation for him. Spreads it wide. Chianese! It's 2-0 for Sydney. The Sky Blues impose themselves on the second half. Alessandro Del Piero involved, and Joel Chianese finishes off the play.
Was a wonderful finish, but set up by Del Piero. Look how he changes the angle of his run to take Yalians even further away from Chianese. This time, unlike the first half, he gets a good first touch, and he just puts his boot through it. It whistles past Birighitti. It's past him before he even dives. One touch, doesn't go for placement, goes for power. Birighitti with no chance, but brilliant from Del Piero. Picked the pocket of Caravella in the middle of the park. They were stretched, and Del Piero just changed the angle of his run and opened it up beautifully for Chianese, who obliged with the finish.
This is music to the ears of Sydney FC fans. Joel Chianese, his 8th A-League goal, but he's matched his tally of last season already. The team decimated by injury have put Newcastle to the sword. Warren. Chianese tried to get the touch on for his left full back. At this point, I'm sure they'll be desperate to keep a clean sheet, keep it very tight.
I just got to play the same way they have been, nice and compact. Let Newcastle have the ball in these areas, and what they've done is when they've pressured, they've done it well, and they picked the pocket again of Caravella. And Del Piero was away. Long way back for Newcastle. You read the stats before. You're not good reading.
Ball played in early. Taggart, and his header just flashes across Pedro Nanjetovic's goal. It was a good opportunity for Newcastle. Highlighted the opportunist, which is Adam Taggart.
The first time cross from Galloway's a good one. It's a difficult header. He does quite well to get anything on it, really. He just can't control it. Diving full stretch. It's just about their best chance.
James Brown and Josh Brillante warming up on the sidelines for Newcastle. A couple of pretty useful options. Del Piero really on his own wavelength tonight. Such an impressive start to his season.
Just the use of his body there and the balance. Quick across the ground anymore, but he's very quick upstairs.
Mikal. Garcia finds Mikal. That's a lovely switch of play. Difficult one to control for Pej Bojic. Let's reflect on Sydney FC's second goal. He's
Connor Chapman keeping him onside. Just held his run nicely, Chianese. That's a good finish. Went for power rather than placement.
Abbas slipped through in the middle. Chianese tried to make the run, but Jellian's got his positioning spot on. See if Newcastle can threaten on the break. They've got the right man in possession, Virgili. It's a poor touch from Scott Neville. Start for Australia at the Under-20 World Cup. Josh Brillante and James Brown, who's had his injury concerns, but at his best is a very dangerous proposition. How will this change the shape of the Newcastle Jets, who desperately need an injection of life? Caravella and Virgili making way. Brillante for Caravella, and Brown would assume would pop up on the right. Chapman. First touch for Brillante.
A straight swap really in the midfield. Brillante taking Caravella's place, who didn't have the happiest of nights. It looks like he's moved from Burns over to the right-hand side, and James Brown playing in behind Taggart.
somehow. Garcia finds a way through. Chianese. Again, they have to put their boot through it to clear the danger zone. Sydney FC looking to make a change.
They've combined well, haven't they? Garcia, Chianese in the second half, and Del Piero, and clever little combinations.
It's a good touch, Zankovic for Burns. He's away. Stretches the legs. Now the options close up. Brown, who had a pre-season operation, a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as match fitness is concerned. James Brown, as is this man, Ryan Grant, but such a good performer for them last season.
Yeah, disappointing season for Sydney last year, but he was certainly one of the bright lights, Ryan Grant. Of course, along with Del Piero and his 14 goals and assists.
Burns, Taggart. Threads its way through to Newcastle's number 10.
Good feet there from Nathan Burns. Controlled and was away with the next touch. Forced the foul from Mark Warren. Clearly a foul.
Right on the edge of the area.
And Craig Goodwin, of course, with his left foot.
This is real Craig Goodwin territory, isn't it? Grant waiting to replace Matty Thompson. On the referee's whistle. James Brown, perhaps the decoy. It's not the angle that would favour the right footer. He produced a deft chip at the stadium last season. What was a wonderful finish. You can see what he can produce with the set piece. It is Goodwin. It struck well, but very solid in his positioning, Janjetovic. Well, he's done his job, Matt Thompson. 68 odd minutes. He had a stinging shot, rebound off the crossbar onto the back of Birighitti in the first half. And he showed all his experience and combativeness for Sydney FC. Short-term replacement for Triantis. And he's certainly been a good servant for Frank Farina.
He's had a good match in that midfield area. As he said, unlucky to not get himself a goal, but Matty Thompson might have thought that his Hyundai A-League days were over. Certainly provided useful service.
Very good playing out from the back by Sydney FC. Wonderful combination. Nicky Carl started it. And he won't end it because it doesn't find its way through to Chianese. Just a word on Matt Thompson. 1 minute his A-League career is over. The next he's playing alongside Alessandro Del Piero. It's not a bad way to come back, is it?
100%.
Chianese has Del Piero in space. Just got caught up in the feet. Played early to Abbas. Relante try to clear the danger zone for Newcastle.
A good break. Again, breaking in that midfield area. Chianese this time turning, running onto the back four. Picked out Del Piero. You can see what Del Piero was thinking. His first touch to take it away from the Allians. It was a difficult one to control, though.
Galloway takes on Del Piero. He tracks back and gives away the free kick. Who, me? Yes, you, Alessandro.
It's probably not where you want Alessandro Del Piero in the right back position. Did get a bit of the ball there, didn't he? He could have probably played on because Galloway was going to get up and retrieve that ball. You got to love his commitment. I mean, we know about his class and his quality.
Physically, he looks in good order. It's a great sign for Sydney FC. Zankovic with a free kick on the angle. 70 minutes in. Curls it to the face of goal, but Carl just with a cushion clearance. Galloway to his captain. Here's Scott Neville. Nathan Burns was in space.
Yeah, just not quick enough. There's Scott Neville to move the ball. That's been the problem in the final third for Newcastle. We've just had very little.
We're looking at vital signs. They didn't want to make too much of that 4-match losing streak pre-season. They did try different combinations. A couple of youth teams employed as well. Chianese. Abbas. Ali Abbas strikes it, but straight into the body of Connor Chapman.
Again, untracked, running into the box from midfield. Ali Abbas, you see he wants to get it on his left foot, of course, and that's what allowed Newcastle to close him down. Good awareness from Chianese to pick him out.
Listed over the top. Jellian's judged it well. Abbas tried the side volley, which was ambitious. He's won a corner for Sydney FC. Really ramping up the pressure on this young Jets lineup, the Sky Blues. Abbas against his former club. Del Piero drops the shoulder, strikes straight into the leg there of James Brown.
Oh, but it's just incredible that you believe a player of his quality, that one player, Del Piero, unmarked on the edge of the 18-yard box from a corner.
Nathan Burns down. Tekovic makes a good run. Burns remains down.
Got a double whammy there, didn't he? Got a kick on the shoulder and then the knee to the back of the head.
That's going to hurt every day of the week. Been a difficult match for him.
Yeah, I was speaking to Gary Van Egmond before the game. He was saying that it's probably a couple of weeks away from full fitness. It certainly looked the case this evening. He's showed nice little touches here and there, but hasn't had the influence that Gary Van Egmond would have been expecting.
Two-man wall.
This is danger area.
Will he go square or direct to goal? Alessandro Del Piero. It is dipping, but there's a comfortable height for Birighitti.
Good ball in that. If someone had just gambled and run across Birighitti, that was a good flat delivery from Del Piero. And discipline of Sydney, look, they're all back in place. The defensive structure has been excellent this evening.
Jumping deep, allowing Jellians to push up, but that time the pass was way off. The radar was locked in first half. Zankovic trying to rally his troops. Very little as far as the positive signs from Newcastle in the second half.
Well, again, they've had plenty of the ball. They just haven't been clever enough. In that final third, another example of that. Really a poor pass from Jellians. There's so little space in behind. And when you've got a compact defence in front of you that are quite deep, you need to move the ball very quickly. maybe have a little bit of that individual brilliance to unlock it. And they just haven't found that.
Nicky Carl returning after his loan spell in the United Arab Emirates.
He's been excellent as well, hasn't he? Very disciplined performance. Great energy in the middle of the park and played it simple when he's had to.
And this time Pej Bojic letting Del Piero down. Lightning with that touch with the outside of the boot. Del Piero playing his right back. So 15 minutes remaining and it's Sydney FC 2, Newcastle 0. Goals in both half have the Sky Blues in control. Grant knocks it down for Del Piero. Is Pianese offside? He is.
They're picked out by Del Piero. Again, they give him so much time and space. Took a few strides forward, and Pianese just dropped in between the two centre halves and just got himself into an offside position. Well, I can't remember Sydney FC being so comfortable in a match in recent times.
Well, it's a fair way off the record crowd of round 2 last season, but if they keep on performing like this, the crowds will come back, no question. You can't get enough of Alessandro Del Piero. He's had a few teammates really put in tonight. The structure's been solid. Overall, a very positive look for Sydney FC.
Well, that's the key for Del Piero, isn't it? If you've got players there that can do the legwork for him, and he doesn't shirk it. Look, he's back in the right fullback position again. That'll be too far out for a goal kick. But if you can get the legwork done for him, and because you know at times that he's not going to do that defensive work, but in turn, if you can get him the ball in the right areas, you know what he can do. He's proved again the difference this evening with the first goal and the assist on the second.
You must factor the 7 injuries to Sydney FC as an element of how disappointed Gary Van Egmond will be feeling. They came in well fancied, but they've come up well short. Here's Taggart.
Look at that, another example. Goes past Nicky Carl, but who's there? Ryan Grant, another midfielder.
Turnover. Goodwin's shot charged down, or his cross at least. Again, another example of commitment by Sydney FC. It's been a fantastic battle between he and Pej Bojic. Brillante. Chapman. Burns. Short. Brillante stays onside. That's a good delivery in the middle. And well defended once more by Sydney FC. Scott Neville. Oh, that's simulation if I've ever seen it.
He looked like he was going down already, didn't he? I'm not sure if there was the contact, but he looked to be going down already. Good ball in from Brillante. Well, dangerous ball and well defended. Definitely looking for it. Was there a bit of contact? And it's been given to a better position than the last one for Craig Goodwin.
I think Tankovic's saying this is mine. Captain's armband may win out here. Good angle for Goodwin. James Brown there as well. It is James Brown, but always rising.
Difficult angle, that one, for the right footer. Up and over, can't bring it down. It's too underneath the ball. So I would have thought that Goodwin's left peg from that position would have been a better option. Now they're a bit of an image of Newcastle's performance this evening. That free kick, disappointing.
It's like Jacob Pepper waiting to come on for the Jets. Played in early. Burns pops up, but is offside. Well, it's James Brown, in fact. Ankle problem before the season. Went under the knife, but another of those players searching for match fitness. Connor Chapman makes way for another youngster. Him playing the central midfield role. Also at the back as well, either wide or centrally. Very comfortable indeed at the moment for Sydney FC. Tactically, you have to say they've got it spot on in this match.
100%. Very good defensive structure. They haven't played a high line because they know Newcastle have had pace with Virgili and Goodwin.
Warren rolls it in the path of Garcia. Needs support out wide, but wants to go more centrally. Did it come off Brillante? It did for Sydney FC corner. It's been a sterling performance by the Sky Blues captain. A goal, an assist, plenty of defensive work as well. To the back post, Viragiti comfortable. I might preface that by saying, Robbie, that when I say plenty, maybe in comparison to a normal fare.
Well said. No, they've just asked the question really in this game, and nearly 60% possession to Newcastle. And Sydney, now, not sat too deep, but not too high, and they've, Matt Thompson when he was there, Mickey Carl, Abbas, close enough, not too close to their back four, and they've just allowed Newcastle possession in front of them and said, if you're good enough to play through us, bring it on, and they haven't been that good enough.
Improvisation there by Chianese, who accepts back from Burridge. It could be 3-0. It's not. A second save for Viragiti. It goes into the end. Richie Garcia, the goal scorer.
It's offside.
Offside.
Well, they had 3 chances at it. It'll be interesting to see this one. I think when it goes maybe back off Birighitti, but what a terrific save from Birighitti off the first one from Garcia. The Bass was the second shot. And I think that's the one when it comes back off Birighitti, where the offside comes from. Yeah, that's where it is. Chianese in an offside position. That's a good decision. Well, it's only still 2-0 because of Viragiti. Fantastic first stop from Garcia and a decent one from the second shot as well. I'm going back to Sydney's performance defensively, but when they've won the ball, they've been good as well.
Peffer over the top. Burns again just let down by that first touch. It's good work by Petkovic. Yellian's got tangled up. In the end, Newcastle will avert the threat for now. Well, Mitch Malia was a late replacement for Jigligor.
good home debut for Richard Garcia. He'd be a little bit disappointed he didn't bury that last one, though. Brilliant save from Berigidi. Mitch Malia comes on with some fresh legs. Drops into Garcia's position on the left-hand side. So Sydney's performance in transition, when they've won the ball, they've always looked dangerous on the break, and of course they've had the quality, the standout quality of Del Piero. And he is just on another level.
Down the line for Nathan Burns. Needs support in the middle. Just to lift it high, and it's overhead as well. Just have really missed that strength and goal-scoring threat of Emil Heskey. The passing ability too of Michael Bridges.
Well, here's that offside decision. There's the first chance. Great save from Garcia, and you can see clearly those graphics. Clearly offside.
It's a lash of frustration from the Newcastle Jets captain Ruben Zakovic. One of those nights for the Jets. They faced a wounded opponent in Sydney FC. But be aware of the wounded team. And that's exactly how it's played out. Being motivated, organised, very lively. Certainly aided by the introduction of Pedj Bojic at right back. It's been a terrific outlet for them.
Oh, well, all the questions leading up into the game were a lot of focus on their pre-season. So players have had a point to prove, and haven't they done that?
Brillante, that's a poor pass. And a break on here for Del Piero. He's got Nicky Carlin support. And that was a tackle that had to be precise, which it was.
I think Del Piero complaining that the tackle was from behind. He did get the ball.
Can Sydney claim a third? Ever so close through Richie Garcia. Zankovic. Brillante. Yellians to Burns. Certainly benefit from the 90 minutes, Nathan Burns. First senior match in over 12 months of football for him, so it's been a frustrating run. As he clips the ball not beyond Seb Ryle.
Well, they've won everything that's come in there, haven't they? Seb Ryle and Petkovic.
Zankovic. Well, Carl felt he won the ball, but Jared Gillette saw it otherwise. Late free kick here for Newcastle. Curled in by the captain, and the header off the frame of goal, and the shot from Scott Neville cannot bring any joy to the Jets.
That was a very good ball in from Zatkovic. That's Pepper with the header, and he's desperately unlucky. Just really glanced at the speed was on the ball, a flat delivery, and cannoned off the crossbar.
And an A-League debut for young Chris Nalmoff and the Sutherland Sharks. Under 20 Premier League Player of the Year in 2012, replacing the goal scorer of the second half, Joel Chianese. And the Sydney FC youth squad is impressed in the pre-season.
A good player, versatile as well. Seen a lot of this kid. His nickname's Kiki Normoff, and he's one to watch. Great to see him getting a debut.
Brown, Burns, kept his feet. Good work by Nathan Burns. Pepper peels out wide, delivers back post, and Jedovic had to be assured, which he was. Pretty comfortable time for the Sydney FC goalkeeper. He kept 3 clean sheets last season. The wrestle between he and Macheski for the #1 position. Del Piero trying to run down the clock back to his goalkeeper. We're 2 minutes into 3 minutes of injury time. Raised arm, raised leg there for Ali Abbas.
Well, the match is in complete contrast to both these sides pre-season. As we talked about at the start of the game, Newcastle with a very satisfactory pre-season leading into the first game in Sydney, well documented, beaten 3-0 at Cogra by Perth Glory, and smashed 4-1 by Brisbane. But as we said, there's no points to be won in September, and when you say you can't look too much at pre-season games, well, this has been the proof.
Well thought and well executed by Sydney FC. Goals in each half. Del Piero opened the account in the 37th minute, and Joel Chianese with a slashing finish in the second half, set up by ADP. And a very satisfying night for Frank Farina, off to a winning start for season 9 of the Hyundai A-League. Shaking hands with